Hello there folks, it's John again and welcome to another mix review video, and let's just start off right away with the ones that I missed because Google Mail put them into a completely different folder. So first one is by Melvin Brinson. Yeah, from first listen it's pretty good. So let's check the low end. Yeah, it's also good. I feel like the kick drum could have a little bit more oomph down there so it doesn't get masked by the bass guitar too much. It's not bad. You still hear and feel that oomph, but you notice it could be a little bit stronger because the bass guitar definitely feels stronger than the kick drum. Kind of want them to be in a bit more of a unison. Next one is by Arthur Daly, something or other. You mentioned that you follow my tutorial with Superior Drummer pretty much exactly, also setting it up and importing the settings and whatnot. I would rather recommend try to find your own sound. Just take the basic principles and then do your own thing with that. I would also rather recommend you watch my later mix tutorial series that I did. How long was that ago? A year ago or 2 years ago? It's a bit more general and gives you a better mindset for mixing. So don't just copy paste stuff. You can do this for starters, but then try to go into your own thing. I wonder, did you use high velocities on the drums? Because sometimes they feel a little bit soft or a little bit whooshy, mushy, like there's not a lot of smack and really hit it hard, especially on the kick drum. But I could be mistaken. I don't quite remember my own Superior Drummer sound back then in the day. Also, the low end on that bass could be placed a little bit better. Right now it feels like you have more of a boost around 200 Hertz. I shifted a little bit lower, rather 100 to 150. So you get a bit more of a stronger rumble. And then also perhaps bring up the low end of the kick a little bit more so it smacks through a little bit. And again, check those velocities because it feels like the kick is not really hitting hard. Same goes for the snare. Feels like it could hit a little bit harder. Again, I want to say it's the velocities. Could also be that the compression could be set a little bit more aggressive. Yeah, that's definitely something you could check out. Next one's by Jacob Remus. There's something about the piano here. It feels like you compressed it really hard. It's kind of flattering and wobbling a little bit, like as if it's fighting against a compressor, but I'm not entirely sure what you did there. Could also be your mastering compression or limiting. In this section, there's a lot of stuff fighting for the low end. You pretty much have kick and bass and strings or synth pads, whatever else it is. You notice all of them are in that same low end space, like 100 Hertz and below. You definitely need to do some puzzling down there. So everything really has its space. For that, again, low end filtering and then boosting that frequency space where you want something actually to exist, especially when you have bass guitar and then the synth bass or the synthesizers or cellos, something or other that's definitely having a lot of stereo width down there in the low end. Those need to be separated, in my opinion, at least. I would keep the bass guitar down there on the low end, and then the other synth or strings that you have, focus them much more in the mid-range. Okay, so take out that low end and boost that mid-range so you have the actual texture and the timbre and all the overtones of that instrument. Because right now it's just bass, dead center, and then on the sides you have this low end swell coming in from those strings or synth pads. Again, I'm not sure what it is that you use, because all you can really hear is that low end. And then also the kick drum. Yeah, it definitely needs to have its own little tight space down there. I give it a boost at 50 Hertz, like specifically 50 Hertz with a rather narrow band. Don't just use a low shelf to boost everything, but give it a specific space. And then make sure the bass guitar stays out of the way at that space. Yeah, otherwise I would rather say, before you work on your mixing here, rather work on the whole arrangement of the song in the first place. Because there's not a lot going on. You have your drums, then a piano here, synthesizer there, and it feels rough, to be honest, in my opinion. I mean, it's something you could go for, but it feels rough. And then the lead guitar, as it comes in, it has a lot of reverb. It puts it far towards the back. And that's rather something you want to have up front. So keep it up front. Don't use too much reverb. If you want to have it spacey, then rather use delay rather than reverb. Delay provides that space while keeping things pretty clear and up front. And then also, when that guitar solo comes in, that's like the climax of the song, but all you really have is drums, bass, and that lead guitar. There's not much to go off of. That really creates a lot of energy. So you may want to work on your arrangement, add more stuff, add more guitars, some rhythm guitars and some layers and whatnot, and build the song a little bit more before you focus too much on mixing. Next one's by Breakdown Minister, I suppose. We're down here, David from Roots of Tragedy. Let's check it out. Okay, right now it's just two major things I notice. One, definitely the low end. There's not a lot of it. Not sure if you fill it too much on different parts. I still need to check out with the headphones, or if you didn't boost a lot down there. If you want to have a quick fix, take a low shelf on that master bus and just boost around that 50 to 100 Hertz range, or let's say 100 Hertz and below. Everything of that, like 6 dB or something. And then the rhythm guitars, they sound like you put a wah pedal on there or something or other. You notice on the Big Attack, they sound... how should I put this? Like old amp modeling, I kind of want to say. Now that's something that you could go for stylistically speaking. In my opinion, it doesn't sound too pleasing. So I would check what you did there before the amp modeling. If you use a wah pedal, I personally ditch that and rather go with a normal boost pedal and perhaps just boost the tone a whole lot to get that tight crunchy tone or genty tone that you may be going for. And then also with the post EQ, Yeah, no, wait with the post EQ. Just check and see what you did there before the amp first, before you fiddle too much with post EQing. So basically, I would say try something else before the amp, so you get a little bit more body, a little bit more girth and oomph in the rhythm guitars. Because as they are right now, it feels like they don't carry a whole lot of energy. It's kind of what I want to say. Now let's check the low end a little bit more precisely. Okay, the guitars definitely still have a lot of low-end woofiness down there, especially with the palm mutes. You notice a lot of woofiness is coming up. You want to make sure that palm mutes stay under control. With the way they go crazy out of control, you may want to use either multiband compressor or dynamic EQ and just compress that low end, that whenever you have that woofiness coming up, that low end compression keeps it under control. And then definitely bring up the bass guitar and also the low end of the kick some more. Because they carry also a lot of energy of the whole mix. You want to have that low end going to really punch through your chest. And there's not much of that here right now. But what's interesting is the toms, they do have quite some low end to them. So make sure you balance everything out nicely down there. The vocals are pretty good. I would just say perhaps bring down that top end boost a little bit more, because a lot of high end makes something sound very upfront and very direct in your ear. And the way it is right now, the vocals kind of stand out a little bit too much. A little bit too much more than the rest of the mix. And you kind of want to make sure that it's nicely balanced and feels more like a part of the whole song rather than something being on top of the song. Yeah, but otherwise, not too bad. Okay, let's keep it at that for this video. That has been 4 mixes. And if you want to send me your mixes, then send them to johnnymixcrit@gmail.com. And I hope I won't miss any. And then we'll go from there. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you all learned something, and I shall see you next time.